One of the easiest ways to ruin a good video is with bad audio. This is actually one of the biggest lessons that I've learned over the last year since I've been diving into filmmaking and just honestly content creation in general. Another thing that I quickly started to realize was that when creating short films, it was going to be really hard for me to get consistent audio because I don't have a boom mic operator, somebody that can keep a shotgun microphone really close to get the really high quality audio. So I needed something that was going to keep it consistent because I am a solo filmmaker and film everything entirely alone. So recently I was in the hunt for a high quality lavalier system that I could use, something that I could run and gun with. My main requirements or things that I was after were I wanted it to be wireless and I wanted it to be XLR so that I could plug it into my audio recorder for 32-bit float. And after some extensive research, aka like, I don't know, 5-6 YouTube videos, I ended up with this, which is what I'm using now, which is the Sennheiser AVX system. And this is using the Sennheiser MKE2 microphone. There's also an ME, this is the MKE, which is supposed to be the better mic. I know there's a lot of really popular wireless systems now. Rode has their own, DJI is obviously the really popular one, but I hate how bulky those are. And if I'm doing filmmaking things, I need to be able to hide it. And they only come in those big ass cubes. I don't know why no one's thought to try to make these things slimmer. Something that I could hide under clothing, inside of a jacket, wherever. I mean, this one is clipped on the outside of me right now, but I could easily put it under my shirt and just kind of have it completely hidden. So that was also a very important aspect of this. And just to be clear, this is not really a review on this product yet. This is kind of me just stating that this is what I'm going to be using and what I'm going to be trying. I'm using it obviously on this talking head stuff, but the real test, which will be soon, I'll be entirely using it for a new short film that I have coming up. Things that really put me onto this mic. It's omnidirectional, which is great. That means it's picking it up from everywhere. It's not just picking up audio from one direction. That's important to me because I may not always be able to have the mic at the exact position that I want it. The XLR connection is huge. Can connect it directly to your camera, but if you do that, you're only getting 16-bit instead of 24. I'll just be using my audio recorder anyway so that I can get full 32-bit float. If you don't know what any of this stuff is, don't worry, I barely do as well. Basically, the 32-bit float is going to allow you to get the best audio. Gives you more room to mess with things in post and really get the best out of your sound. It has a locking connector to the transmitter, which I've never really dealt with this, but from the videos I've seen, that's actually a huge thing because if your cord falls out or if it's not connected all the way, you could get clipping, you could get bad out, you could just lose your audio altogether. So I could see how that's a very big deal. The receiver rotates, which is really cool. So depending on what device you have it on, if you need to move it out of the way, it also has it built in so that if you get too loud, if you have any sudden increase in volume, or you start talking really loud, it's not gonna let it peak and blow out and ruin your audio. So it keeps everything kind of at a nice consistent level, and I think that's really cool as well. Again, when I do the actual review, I'll break it down more when I feel like I have more experience with it. Now, before I knew anything about kind of any of this stuff in general with filmmaking, but particularly in audio and sound design, my videos sounded like this. Welcome back to another video. If you are new, my name is Darren. I'm a self-taught acrylic painter. Yikes. And yes, you guessed it, I was using the internal microphone on my old camera. I didn't know anything, I was brand new. Quickly realized that the video sounded echoey and just terrible. So at the time I picked up the Rode VideoMic Pro. I did notice some improvement, but it wasn't long after I started looking in, what are the better options for shotgun mics for like talking head stuff like this. I ended up kind of always liking the sound of the Sennheiser brand. So I went with the Sennheiser MKE600, which is what you'll hear on most of my YouTube talking head videos. I know they have a 416, which is like the most popular, but honestly, I must have watched up 50 videos like comparing the two mics. I did hear a difference, but for triple the price, I was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna go with this. And honestly, I've absolutely loved it. I think the sound is great. I'll probably upgrade that down the road as well. But again, I'm new to all this stuff. I don't know a lot about a lot of it. Kind of hard to spend $1,000 on one individual item when you're just figuring things out. So again, the old video sounded like that, and the new videos sound like this. I regret buying the DJI RS3 Pro gimbal. Much better, right? I've also been learning a bit more about how to enhance enhance the audio in post. That's something I still want to get even better at. But I've gotten to a point that I'm actually pretty happy with how my YouTube videos sound. So the big reason for me investing in this mic is, again, the consistent audio. So I finished a short film recently, and the stuff that I like to do is very heavily dialogue driven. Because I'm alone when I film these things, you know, the mic placement is stuff I have to work on and trying to get the consistent audio. And that's what I feel like a weakness of mine right now is. So if you look at this example of my recent short film, how old did you just turn again? 27? Getting up there. This was all filmed in the same room. I have a C-stand where I can kind of have it just out of frame, but there's others, if I'm doing a wide shot or different things, that it's a little bit harder for me to hide, or I can't hide it at all. And so the audio ends up being different. It'll be the same shot, but the audio is different. And I feel like that takes away from a professional quality if there's too much variation in the dialogue, especially if it's in the same room. So I'm hoping that this investment into the lavalier mic setup will allow me to at least have consistent audio. I don't mind if I lose a little bit of quality in exchange for consistent audio, because I think that will make it seem higher quality across the board if everything is consistent and sounds the same. So that's kind of my goal with this. And being able to get up and just walk around, stand on the other side of the room, being able to just sit back here and continue talking and doing whatever I need to do. If there was something I wanted to come back here and pick up or show you or point at, I like the fact that I can do all that and not have to worry about bringing the mic with me or having a big ass C-stand and everything pointed at me. I just think that's really cool. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go stand outside. See, this is the kind of stuff I was not able to do before. I couldn't have just walked into my backyard and kept recording and getting audio. So yeah, this is just kind of a cool feature of this. I just lost one of my lights. I don't want to be too loud. It's like midnight. It's really small too, which I like. It's even smaller than this. This has like this casing on it. So anyway, this is my review before review, where I'm basically announcing that I'm going to be using this Sennheiser AVX system. I know that you should never fully expect a lavalier mic to be the best sound that you're going to get. But again, my real goal here is consistency. So in the next video that I post on this, I will report back after using it for my next short film, see if I can really maximize the shit out of this Sennheiser AVX. So I look forward to sharing the result with you. And good night. See, it's cool. I don't even have to turn back to say good night. I can just say good night facing this way. Anyway, really, good night.